Are skeleton chariots both variants any good in patch 6.3? At some point I needed to just go back to basics and show things from the ground up because visible and less visible changes are evident. At present, even the baseline chariots are something I can show off to an absurd extent. The new campaign buffs can reach great heights. It all starts with some bone, wood, and attitude. Recruited for Psych! A shocking 850 gold in multiplayer, you get 12 chariots and 7,052 health. I immediately looked at this and dug up the final version Total War Warhammer 2 stats, where they are 5,988 health unit-wide. Who says war never changes? Armor is 80, leadership 55, which is far from terrible for an undead faction. Speed is 74, with charge speed 103, so they look much faster when barreling in. Melee attack begins at 22, with attack interval of the standard 4 seconds. Splash target size is very large, so virtually anything dilutes it, but max target splash is 3 regardless. 3 is not what I remember in the old days at all, so that's been changed. Melee defense begins at 24. Weapon strength is 34, split base 24, and armor piercing 10, so in pitched battle they're not that great, and not meant to be. They have a bonus versus infantry of 12, so already against infantry it's melee attack 34 and weapon strength 46, split along the base heavy ratio. Charge bonus is 58, quite high considering how many entities the unit has, and mass is 1500. It was 900 at the end of Total War Warhammer 2. These chariots can hide in forest, cause fear, are undead, and are fully compliant with the Realm of Souls mechanic, so they heal as your side gets beaten up, so long as it's stuff out of bone and not stone. The Archer Chariots are 1000 gold in multi, interestingly for a missile unit, because this sure isn't always the case. The melee stats are 100% identical to the melee version, merely adding on the ranged part. The melee ones are inherently more expendable to you, but if I can speak of one disadvantage, it's very simply that shooting creates fatigue. For ranged, ammunition comes at 30. Range is 140, or the range of a lot of plain archers. Missile strength 75 on paper, each impact is base 29, armor piercing 16. That's in current patch, it's been raised a tiny bit I think. The problem is that there's only one arrow per attack, so hitting harder when you have only 12 entities here can't be expected to wipe out entire units. It will annoy them. The solution, so to speak, is reload time 6 seconds, which is on the very fast side. Total accuracy of 30 means less of those shots will be wasted. Calibration distance 120 means they retain accuracy quite a long ways. Calibration area 4 means they're not pinpoint on small characters, which is sad, and no multi-target penetration. The thing is, they're far worse moving and 360-degree firing arc, so they are one of your two kings of kiting units in the faction. Before I get into the rest, normally I have a unit go after bog standard Empire swordsmen, maybe a couple of crossbowmen, and one lord. Here I'm showing 2 units of skeleton chariots versus that entire red team with the Tomb King's generic lord and some skeleton scrubs held way back. It's not just enough, it doesn't feel close. Though units that are tired and or caught are going to take damage, but this should amply demonstrate how collision attacks are working, how mass 1500 is a big deal for this chariot type, and how this is tier 1 or 2 unit is devastating anything that is infantry, and even if anti-large, if it's not braced, it stands a chance of getting simply run over. In the redline skills, Master Charioteers at 3 pips gives melee attack plus 8, charge bonus plus 12 flat, and 8% reload time reduction for the Archer Chariot specifically. That means at rank 0, it's melee attack 32 against cavalry, melee attack 44 against infantry, and charge bonus 70 against everything. At rank 7 and up, Dune Rider would give armor plus 10, melee attack plus 5 again, and physical resistance plus 10% to boot. In the tech tree, everything is focused on the first dynasty except a Herald banner. The new Unremitting Devotion gives recruit rank plus 2 and fatigue build-up minus 25%. And like I said, fatigue is a leading cause of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th death among chariots. Runic inscriptions. I checked with one of my campaigns. The written word is accurate. The speed bonus applies to melee infantry and not the chariots. But no monarch is saying no to plus 10 flat charge bonus. The Ossuary Dirge now covers more units, as in including the trash quote-unquote skeletons of the faction, but nonetheless, plus 5 melee attack and melee defense, so long as the unit is not dust, is a big deal, because as you saw just earlier, the defaults are in the low 20s. First Dynasty Plans offers armor plus 10 and weapon strength plus 10%, and that's not wasted. Patronage of the First Dynasty gives you plus 2 capacity for skeleton chariots and archer chariots. Tier 1 of the chariot building is worth 2 melee, each tier 2 building 2 archer variant. Not more melee, but 2 of each. We're not done. Herald of Zandri, the banner, used to provide vanguard deployment for both units, notably lacking from the unit previously unless playing Cetra, because Cetra. Now it gives that and provides glorious charge, which means the morale penalties from hitting the flank or back are applied even when rolling over opposition from the front. Oh yeah, it also doubles the duration of your charge bonus. That's kind of important. With Heir to the Chariot King in the Tomb Prince's first mini-line, as relayed in the linked video, they gain unit cap this way and also devastating flanker, doubling the charge bonus when hitting said flank and rear of the enemy, and since charge bonus goes from 58 base to 80 through redline and text, we're starting to get plenty serious. Any Tomb King generic included, with the blessing Petra the Great Father, will give chariots in that army leadership plus 4 and melee defense plus 8. Kotep can give a bonus to melee attack, interestingly enough, but considering you start low, plus 13 melee defense from this and technologies, and anything you got from veterancy, is basically all you get. The total boosts to melee attack are pretty formidable though. On top of that, if they are so blessed as to be within 35 meters of a Tomb King in campaign, My Will Be Done, the passive, which you have to buy in multiplayer, gives melee attack plus 5 and melee defense plus 5. I usually don't run it in demo combats to not skew results, but it's always there in campaign. So how do we use skeleton chariots? Well, I'm showing some things here. I might need to put out more video stuff showing more, just to show off, but the bottom line is extremely simple. If your target is infantry that isn't anti-large, and braced, and preferably is armor-piercing also, this is an overwhelming unit, leaving far too low mass of prior game versions behind in the dust. It's not just that they can defeat one unit of infantry, it's that a pair of these can wipe the floor with 5 or 6 in a cluster just because of how things work. Melee units are one thing, but a lot of the point of this is to feast on understrength missile units without the mass and numbers to put up much of a fight. The usual problems do persist. Any kind of cavalry at all will trip them up, monstrous infantry and serious armor-piercing will tend to rip them apart, and they don't do much armor-piercing relative to base, which is why the boosts are so stupidly impactful. Fine, weapon strength is 34 base, plus 10% from tech tree, add charge bonus 160 to that, and its weapon strength 194, 57 of which is armor-piercing, and subject to collision attack cleave. It's absolutely like how Reiksguard with Devastating Flanker can manage to take on armored infantry seriously in very late-game Empire play. Here, it's hero-dependent. Also, though the number of entities is a little low to be doing this, don't forget that in Tomb Kings, everything can be anti-large with one overcast, cursed blades. So that's it for this video, but I hope to be showing off more because, well, chariots are fun. These are a lot more fun when they're not actually on fire, as the music goes, and I just plain enjoy watching them and using them. Take care, and have fun out there.